adrenaline. It's the motion of a player where slow the game down. Let the game. Joe Malfitano, that's the guy that was here for many, many years that I was, taught. He taught me at third base in the minor leagues while he was the major league third base coach. Don't rush yourself. Let the game come to you. Never forgot that. So as a third base coach, I have to think slow the game down. I have to be prepared. I got to know the situation. In this game, you're never going to be perfect, just like a player. You're going to get guys throwing out. But I think if the process is right, if it has to be a good throw, if it's, looking down in the order of the lineup. But when the game gets excited, believe it or not, and I'll tell you the story, when, like today in the ninth, when that ball's hit, I didn't hear a word. People are going like, no chance. You have to hear something. It's gone. It's silent. It's concentration. I'm looking at ball, make sure it gets through. Now when I see that ball get through, now it comes, the crowd of, the cheers. I could hear it now. But as that ball's hit, I don't hear anything. My focus, my mind, I've got to make the play, I've got to make a call here. Who's the runner? Who's the outfield? I already know that. So after the ball got through, now I hear it. And believe it or not, every single time when we win a game like that, or it's even in the seventh inning, whatever it is, the chills, it's the electric, the crowd, it's the roar, it's the music, it's looking in our dugout and seeing our guys fired up. Just for a split second, now my eyes go right to Dave, gives me signs, focus. Now here we go. We got runners on first and third, first and second, runner on first. Who's hitting? Who's on deck? Who's in the hole? How many outs? Back to slowing the game down and letting the game come to me at third base. That's how I work at third base.
Boy, this is just amazing as far as the easiness that he does to be able to not hear something. That's amazing with everybody going crazy. Now I've got to ask, because we've done programs with other players, and Kenley Jansen talking about the hardest job in terms of having to recover from a blown save and his approach and how do you get that out of your mind and everything like that. But interestingly, Joe Davis, the broadcaster, he will actually go back and look at his play-by-play calls, and he'll review that on tape. And sometimes in his mind, what Joe Davis thinks came out of his mouth in terms of a home run call, he'll surprise himself as far as good or bad. It'll be different on the TV. And I wondered, either good or bad, we have so much video, how much, not second guessing, but how much review do you do of certain plays? Because you've got only a certain angle, how much do you review certain plays?
Every day, a lot. I hate bringing this up. I still can't sleep over the Angel loss here at Dodger Stadium, because I know those guys, and a game situation, the closers in the game, in the major leagues, and it's when it's the last inning, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, you got some type of rally going. There's not a whole lot of more hits should come because they got their closer out there. So I know Cole. Now going back the next day, I go in there and I see the footwork. I just try to replay what I saw coming down the line and now see it on the video. So answer the question, yes, the video is important to me. Footwork, I know the arm is there. Again, I'll replay that situation. I know Kike's up, man on second base. I see Cole, Trouty up, and I see them all out there. And I'm going, okay, if this ball's hit hard, I just need it to be to their left or right. If it's hit right at somebody, I have a problem. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, if I hold the runner there, if I hold belly, stops, 2 outs, and that ball goes wide at the plate, the next batter, Seager, he pops up, we lose the game. I can't sleep going home thinking, that was the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, base hit, I held him, and he threw wide at the plate. Because believe it or not, me working with those guys, anybody, out of 10 throws, maybe 6 of them are offline, or 7 of them are offline. Maybe the 3 they throw around the plate. So I know that, and I'm thinking, okay, Cole busts his right. It's a hard hit ball. He's got to turn those feet, and he's got to make the perfect throw. Now, what got me there was he threw the ball on the third base line, that's what I was not hoping for. I was hoping for on the first base line, because of his footwork, he throws that ball to this side of the plate. Now it's going to be a tougher play trying to catch it and come over here on Belly, who you guys know is the fastest guy on our team. Maybe if somebody else is out there, a slow runner or an average runner, I might have pulled the brakes on him, hoping now that Corey gets the hit. But when you get that big hit in the ninth inning with 2 outs, you're facing their close, just like today. This guy, I think it's his first blown save. How many more hits can you expect? That's what goes through my head. Well, I'm hoping for a rally. I'm hoping for another double down the line, we win the game. But the chances are, I think they told me the next day it was like 72 or 75% of the guy getting a hit. It's not going to happen. So there's a little window for me. It was Corey, because he's hitting 278 or 280, whatever it was. So he's got a small window there to get the hit, but that's what goes through my head. There's going to be a play today. I knew he had to make a perfect throw if it's hit hard, but the ball was hit soft. We score easy and we walk him off.
All right, now go ahead, clap. The man has sleepless nights. He's ruining his health for you. You have to give it up for him. But now we got to ask about the row pressure, because it's one thing about, the regular season and everything like that. But what about the hardest job that you have, the hardest possible thing that you could do, and that's pitch to Jock Peterson in the home run derby with $1 million on the line.
Yeah.
Now tell me about that pressure, because technically it's not supposed to mean anything, yet Dodger Stadium, home of the 2020 All-Star Game, everybody is clamoring not only for game tickets, but home run derby tickets. And everybody's all crazy about, home run, 38, 39, keep it coming. But it's not a machine that's pitching to them. It's an actual person. And now let's have some insight as far as you're serving it up. And tell me about that pressure.
Well, I don't call it pressure. I just call it having fun. I've been doing this a long time. I throw batting practice for the last 26 years. I enjoy doing that. I know everybody where they like it, where they don't like it, what they want to work on. So when we went out there, I looked at the board and I saw 29 fire, and he's got to get everything middle in, down and in, and that was my focus. Not one time, that was my third time I've thrown in a home run derby. So the first one was 07 with Vladdy Guerrero, his son. That was, that beat us to go to the finals there. Vlad, we won it in 07 in San Francisco. Albert Pujols asked me to do it in 15 in Cincinnati. Jock beat us to go to the finals. Now I got a chance to take Jock to the, championship round, and Vlad Jr. beats us to go to the final round. But I'll tell you what, that was probably, you're talking about focus and talking about didn't hear a word and not seeing nothing except Jock Peterson in the moment. And what he did was incredible. He was out of gas. Langer, behind the plate, told me afterwards, he was telling him, breathe, you got to breathe. So when I saw the way he was breathing, when he inhaled, I fired, because now as he's blowing out, he's letting it rip. So all that stuff was going through my head, watching Jock and seeing his shoulders, and when he relaxed, boom. Now I had to wait until the umpire, this little thing they told us there, they said once the ball, everybody thought we were all cheating because the ball had to hit the ground. Well, they told us after he gets what's the 30-second, it has to hit the ball 440 feet to get a 30-second round or something like that. Once that was established, then once the ball cleared the fence, then the umpire didn't land. It was soon as I start to see that hand almost like this, I fired. Because everybody from our hitting coaches to Bellinger to all the guys that were there, they're like, Dino, you got to anticipate. I said, I will. So I was focused on, now that ball's hit, I'm watching, I start to see, now I threw it. So I was actually just trying to anticipate that arm when that umpire put it down. But I give all the credit to Jock. That is something that probably, you won't get, if somebody does that again, it's incredible, because what he was doing and just flicking his wrists and out of gas, flicking his wrists and hitting them out, totally the credit goes to him.
I've got to ask you, go ahead and clap. That was an amazing performance, and he just makes it look automatic. And Dino, we're sitting here in a historic ballpark, the third oldest in the major leagues, opens in 1962. All the retired numbers and so many generations of fans have enjoyed this ballpark.
But just being in the Dodger organization, now growing up in Barstow, California, big Dodger fan, Always a Dodger fan, like the Angels, kind of root for both teams, but I was always a Dodger. You know, we'd always have arguments at our house. My dad loved the Cincinnati Reds, the big red machine, and I've always wanted to, you know, I was always deciding on the Dodgers that this is my team. So now I signed with them, dream come true, sign, and then guys, you know, the history, which I knew all the, you know, the Garveys, the Says, the Russells, the Lopes, the Smiths, the Mundys. I knew all those names. It was now signing, going to spring training the following year, and seeing Sandy Koufax, Drysdale, Johnny Roseboro, Campanella, Claude Osteen, Bert Hooten, Don Sutton. All these guys are coming in, Vin Scully, and I'm thinking, gosh, this is what these are people that I see on TV that, you know, I know who they are. They're Hall of Fame guys. They're Dodgers. And sitting down with them every night as a minor league player in Vero Beach, in the dining room, you could sit anywhere you want, first class, all the food you can eat, and every table there was somebody there that was, you know, played for the Dodgers or worked for the Dodgers or something with the Dodgers. And all I sat there and listened to story after story after story, learn as a player. Once I decided to be a coach, they came to me. I could have left, sign as a, you know, leave as a 6-year minor league free agent. I said no. I wanted to be a coach in the organization, to stay in the Dodger organization, the tradition, and started out as a player coach, worked my way as a coach, and then became a manager. 8 years in the minor leagues with the Dodgers. I did 1 year with the Angels in AAA. But just learning from those guys, learning how to play the game, pay attention to detail, what it means to be a Dodger, and the tradition. Believe it or not, I feel this way today, and I always felt this. When the Dodgers come into a stadium on the road, seems like they always made it their field. Mike Scioscia told me that when we were with the Angels. He said, when we take the field, we want the other team in their park to feel it's our field. And now, as a Dodger again, when we go on the road, I feel the other team feels that here we are. They're going to make it their field. And that's the way I was brought up in this organization. Make the field yours, and I'll never forget that.
Dino, you talked about Mike Scioscia, and he had made his debut here April of 1980, a member of 2 championship teams, 81 and 88, all-time leader in games caught, but also the all-time leader as far as games won as an Angels manager, and won the championship in 2002. And I wonder, being around guys, Scioscia, Renicky, Bud Black, guys who would become major league managers, what did you learn from Scioscia and other type of lessons that you learned as you developed and became more of a coach?
Well, yeah, that was, when I joined the Angels in 2005 and as a minor league manager in AAA, I felt going into Tempe, Arizona, I felt in that first day in that clubhouse, it was the Dodgers. I truly did, because of Scioscia and Renicky and Hatcher and Alfredo Griffin, and we had guys in the minor leagues. We had guys upstairs as advanced scouts, all came from the Dodgers, and Gary Sutherland and Eddie Bain. They were all scouts that advanced scouts worked with Fred Clare, and I felt, man, I never left the Dodgers. I mean, it was just like, here I am. I'm in an Angel uniform. Everything that we did in spring training, it was like we did in spring training with the Dodgers, because Scioscia brought everything over. We were all taught one way, the right way to play the game. And being there with Scioscia and the staff and just asking questions, going to dinner, little things like that, go on the road, in the office every day, go over plays. You know, me as the third base coach, one of the major goals for me, and it is here now with Dave, never miss a sign. I'm really, like, when a manager puts a sign on, now I don't know if we'll execute it. If he wants a guy to hit and run, he swings and misses, they throw a runner out. That's okay. That's part of the game. My job is to make sure the guys get the sign. So that was one of the biggest things, working with Scioscia and just pitch to pitch, and Ron Renicky, the bench coach, and Mickey Hatcher, the hitting coach, Alfredo Griffin, the infield coach, learning every day. Still today, with Bob Guerin and Dave Roberts, and guys on our staff with Rick Honeycutt, same questions, same conversations. Pick their brain. How can we get better? Opposing team that's coming in. The little things is going to beat teams, and that's something that I try to bring every day to the players. Build a relationship, communication, and the trust. If you get those 3 things at this level, at any level, you're going to be successful. And this team here is just unbelievable. the process we go through every day. And again, we go back to last year when we played here and we came in as the Angels. I looked over there and I'm like, oh man, these guys are really good. That's how I feel now. When we take the field, the other team's going, we got no chance to beat these guys. So that's the stuff I learned from Soch, the Dodger way, all the way coming up through this organization for 17 years, and I'm going to continue to keep doing it.
I've got to ask, you've got a routine, and you're very intense in terms of the preparation, and we've already know about your tortured existence with you can't sleep, and you're just having nightmares about outfielders with strong arm and 2-hop throws, nailing the runner and everything like that. How do you get away from it all, even if just for an hour? What are some of the things that you like to do as far as, are you a gym rat? Do you like to just sit and read and just have solitude? How do you strike a balance? Because there's so many stats, so many miles and miles of video, yet you still have to, I'm sure, find some time for yourself. So what do you like to do away from all of this?
Well, as you know, I'm a big runner. I like to run. I like to, 4 miles a day. I used to do more, but now the last maybe 7 to 10 years, I've nailed it down to about, 4 miles in the morning. Drop my boys off. My wife and I go to the gym, get my workout in. That's my time. I don't bring a phone. My wife gets mad at me at times when she can't make it, and she'll try to call me, and the phone's ringing inside the house. And so the last, 25, 26 years, even when we're on the road, when I was a minor league manager, minor league coach, major league coach, major league bench coach, the routine, home or on the road. First thing I do, get up, I go to the gym. Just number one thing, I don't eat, I don't drink coffee, I don't drink water, nothing. I got to go run, get it done, come back, and then on the road, I stop at Starbucks. 3 years ago, I had problems with kidney stones, so I had to change my diet. So after that experience, I said, what do I need to do? The doc said, well, just cut back. So I said, what do you mean cut back? Cut back on dairy, cut back on red meat, cut back on stuff that candies and Cokes and all the sugar. And, we found some stuff in there. I said, okay. I said, I will. That night, cold turkey was it. So I'm going on 3 years, no dairy, no red meat, no sugar, no processed food. It's a boring life, but I do eat chicken breast. I do eat some fish, but it's all whole grains, vegetables, fruits, salads. My oatmeal in the morning, it's a big bowl. So it's not every day that I stop at Starbucks, because my wife got on me. She sees that and she's like, really? I cook for you every morning when you're home. I said, well, yeah. I said, but it's like when we're in a hurry, we stop at Starbucks. But it's a big cup of oats every morning, all water. I throw all the walnuts, and it's kind of like a plant-based diet, protein diet. And I eat a lot of carbs, but I'm on the go. So that's my time. If I'm like today, the drive home is going to 40 miles. It's going to probably take 2 hours. I just go through the game. It's my time. I listen to a little radio, probably talk shows, baseball, the MLB channel, catch up on all the, what happened today in the game. The Diamondbacks are coming in. So when I get home, now I relax. I got 2 boys at the house. I got 3 grandbabies. They come over because they know tonight we're going to go out to dinner later on. Just get to be a dad. My 2 sons, they're baseball players. Time we wind down, 9, 10 o'clock at night, go to bed, starts all over the next day. Now tomorrow's an off day. We're going to enjoy the off day, come here tomorrow night for Kershaw's ping pong tournament there. And that's kind of like during the season, that's kind of the routine that I'm in. Off season, we go places. The boys are in school. I have a 28-year-old daughter, 3 grandbabies, 1 on the way. It's going to be 2 girls, 2 boys. I got 11-year-old son, 12-year-old son, 11-year-old son. So my house is really loud and wild at night when they come over. But it's all good. I'm a grandpa, and we love it, and they keep me young, and it's what I enjoy. Just being with the family and doing things with the family when I'm at home.
And you can clap for Mr. Family Man. I mean, how great is that?
Dino, you want ice water?
No, I'm good.
You good?
I had a lot today.
Okay.
Remember, he wakes up, no water, no nothing. He doesn't.
Yeah, but that
He
was
wants to
what?
be miserable.
That was 8 hours ago?
Probably 8 bottles today.
Oh my God. Just checking.
When you look at your baseball life, you've had so many minor league stops, manager, coach, player, and you also played in Australia for a while during the off season. So now you look back, you close your eyes, and you've got your memorabilia room and everything like that. But in terms of the one or two cool moments where you just look back and go, I can't believe I got to be a part of that. It could be at any level. What is something that you look back and go, that is really cool?
That's a tough one because so many throughout 32 years, but if right now I close my eyes and just, okay, what do I remember the most? One was when I signed that contract in 1988. I'll never forget that because I love the Dodgers and I became a Dodger. Even though I was in the minor leagues, I truly loved the Dodgers when I played there in the minor leagues, became a coach. So number one, I would say signing with the Dodgers. And number two, all the playoff experiences, the home run derbies, just being in the game of baseball. It's incredible. I am totally blessed. I love the game, passionate. I said this in the interview. I said every time I get off that freeway and I see that sign, truly, it sounds like a little weird. I truly go, man, I'm going into Dodger Stadium today to get ready for tonight's ball game or today's ball game. That's the stuff that I think when it's all done, all the memories, establishing relationships, the players, the coaches, the organizations. I've worked for 2 organizations my whole career. Is just to sit back and, man, look in that room and see that Dodger jerseys, see those pictures, remember moments in a game, walk-off homers, walk-off, wild pitches, anything that I look back at and say, man, look at that. I'll remember the throw out at the rest of my life, Cole Calhoun throwing us out at home plate. I'll never forget that. But I think just signing with the Dodgers and being a Dodger now, coming back, I don't know how long this is going to last. I really don't. 53 years old. I've been in the big leagues 14 years. If it lasts a few more years, great. If it lasts 10 more years, great. But I never once ever take it for granted on what I do. Because there's only 30 of us in the world. 30 third base coaches in the world. That's how I look at it. I don't take a day off when the season starts until that last out and we bring that championship home. That's what I think every day of my life.
You better applaud that. Well, Dino, I'd like to thank you, and we'd also like to thank everybody for coming. You are just an amazing person. I've known you since started writing in '87, and you came in '89, and then front office since '94. And there's just certain people during the years, even with the Angels, it was just people that you have a great admiration for, and he's always been that way. Guys like Sosha and Renicky and Alfredo Griffin, it's just kind of like a little club, and we're just so thrilled that you're back on the other side of the freeway. And we wish you all the best, especially with your commute today. So, so let's hear it all for Dino. Thank you.
And thank you for always saying hi to all of us during batting practice. We all always yell hi to you, and you're always so receptive.
I will never forget the fans, ever, no matter where I'm at, because you bring life to us. And that's how I feel. And I spent 18 years in the minor leagues on buses, 18-hour trips. It didn't matter. I'm in a game of baseball. People come to watch the game. And I always felt that's my duty to, somebody waves or says hello, say hello back. And that's from day number one. That's how I look at it.
All right, well, thank you all very much. Yeah, I think, Ashley, do you have an announcement? She does.
Awesome. So just want to thank everyone for coming. This is one of many member events, so we're not season ticket holders anymore. We are members, so stay tuned. In 2020, there will be a lot more to come, so hope you stick with us as we build this thing out and continue to enjoy your journey with members of the Dodgers. So thanks everyone for coming. Hope you get home safe, and we'll see you out here on Friday.